Coming up tonight, it's the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime Television, a full review of TNA's Bound for Glory on pay-per-view. We talk about Raw and Impact from this week, your viewer mails, Fan of the Week, the Cos 5, 10 Best, and so much more. This is the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime for Friday, October 15, 2010.
And now, celebrating 13 years on the air, this is the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time with David Hero, Frank Cosentino, Linda Kay, the man they call Meathead, and Damian Nelson. All the latest from World Wrestling Entertainment, total nonstop action wrestling, and more. This is the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time.
Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime, Friday, October 15, 2010. Damian Nelson sitting here alongside David Octavius, the Tiberius, the Popalicious Hero.
Daddy!
It finally happened. The main event, the WrestleMania.
No. The headlining main event finally happened for the Pope, because he got to talk to me.
Not 24 hours ago, we had the Pope on the program along with Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash, explosive as usual. The Pope, very insightful, actually. I think he went easy on you.
You know what was amazing about the Pope, baby? Is that how much he knew about DHHS. I mean, he knew all
when
about
you steal
it.
his gimmick, you know.
I didn't
You
steal
got to
it.
send him a t-shirt.
I improved it.
A lot to talk about this week, and as we were just talking about, if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out last night's very, very intriguing Pro Wrestling Report
Controversial,
ESPN radio
would you say?
show. As always,
Top rated?
As always, you can get that on demand at pwrshow.com, Blog Talk Radio, and you can actually pick up the interview with the Pope on the ESPNMilwaukee.com podcast section of their website as well.
Does ESPNMilwaukee.com realize we have now put them on the map with that interview?
Let's talk about TNA's Bound for Glory from this past Sunday night on pay-per-view. David Hero. This pay-per-view built a lot of intrigue for TNA and a lot of people talking about the big news of the show, which was the revelation of who they were. And they was Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, Jeff Jarrett, Abyss, and the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Jeff Hardy. You didn't know it. I didn't know it. The humanoids didn't know it. TNA got us all.
I had no idea Jeff Hardy was going to leave champion. We had a pretty good idea about they, wouldn't you say, brother?
I think over the course of the last 2 months, you have put everybody who was in they in some type of categorization of potentially being they. So it worked out.
It proved itself. Right?
Yes.
And wait. I believe that was a DHHS moment,
I
wasn't
think it got stamped. Yeah,
It was
I think
stamped. Can't beat that.
Jeff Hardy going bad, turning heel. Jeff Hardy winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship earlier in the night. The matchup featuring Sting, Jeff Jarrett, Samoa Joe, Kevin Nash, and the Pope. Jeff Jarrett walking out on his partner, Samoa Joe, and it became obvious at that point that Jeff Jarrett was going to have something to do with this they. But going into the show, everyone being told or being sold on the fact that Hogan had no chance in hell of making it to Daytona Beach, Florida for that event because of his back surgeries and his excruciating pain, and a surgery as recent as Friday or Saturday of last weekend. TNA worked this and worked it well for Bound for Glory.
Everyone that I've talked to in TNA that was in the back,
Including the Pope?
including the Pope baby, was that Hogan was in excruciating pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that they can't believe he was there and showed up. That's a lot of leg drops, brother.
He was there, he showed up, and one thing we realized on our live Impact wrap-up post-show on Thursday night was, it was actually a caller, I believe his name was Dan, saying that, reminding us or showing us that Bound for Glory was going to be held in the same venue as Bash at the Beach in 1996, where the NWO was formed.
You really think that they put that much thought into where...
Absolutely. Matter of fact, we got an email from Steven, who was there at Bound for Glory Live, sitting somewhere near Dixie Carter, and heard her give the go-ahead for people to start throwing stuff into the ring. And it was the first people that threw the stuff into the ring were from her private catering section that was set up on the arena floor.
Well, I bet you were frustrated about that, weren't you?
Well, she told me to throw it, so I didn't have a choice.
So you really think TNA planned the pay-per-view building around this angle?
I don't think they actually, possibly.
Come on. That's more thought into the building than into most of the show.
I think. Now, it could have been just a lucky coincidence. Either way, it worked out perfectly.
Either way, they worked out.
Either way, they worked out perfectly. At that point, you knew it was sort of going to be Hogan, and you knew it was something. They tried to do something revolutionary for the business.
You knew when Hogan walked down that ramp wearing the black Double H t-shirt or H to the second power, you knew he was healing. But didn't Bischoff look kind of silly?
How so?
Just with the chair, it's like, okay.
Why did he bring a chair down?
Well, he wanted to hit somebody.
But nobody was out. Nobody was down. There was
were.
no opportunity.
Kurt Angle was down. Jeff Hardy was down.
Really? I thought they were both standing by
Ken
the time he got in the
Anderson
ring.
was down.
All right.
You know, we need to get this show. We got to beat out on scene in a few hours.
We do, actually. But continue talking about TNA's Bound for Glory. Did they play it out as well as they could have? Did it come off as a monumental event? Jeff Hardy turning heel, going bad for the first time ever. Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, Jeff Jarrett, and Abyss turning on TNA. We learned on Impact last night what that all meant. Turning on TNA. Did this get delivered in a way that was not just believable, but in a way that built intrigue for subsequent TNA TV?
You know, when the handicap match was over and Jeff Jarrett just left,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's all they're going to give us? But then to come back in the main event, because everyone kind of figured they would appear during the handicap match.
Right.
Well, they didn't. They showed up in the main event. Headline, you know, Pope got screwed again, didn't he?
Well,
the main stuff happened in the headline.
You just
main
don't
event.
listen, do you?
I mean, don't listen.
You agreed with Pope last
I
night.
agreed being in a match with Hogan, but was Hogan in the match?
Wow, you are amazing.
Yes, I am.
You are something else. When's
I'm
the last
honest.
time you talked to Sean Hannity? Does he brief you before you come down to the
No,
studio?
nobody briefs me but myself. Okay, let's get that straight. Sick freak.
They did so good, I think, over the course of the evening, spelling it out, because they did leave it hanging after the Abyss matchup. But Abyss
That I didn't like.
Abyss still saying, though, after the match, blood coming from his mouth, they are still coming. They are taking over. They will still happen tonight. I thought that was an interesting...
And they proved wrestling was fake during that match.
He got hit in the stomach with nails. He was coughing up blood, David.
How? How?
He had internal bleeding. The blunt trauma of that board
But
coming into his
nothing came
midsection.
out.
It takes a while. Don't you watch Law and Order?
No, I don't.
Why can't you just... Did you enjoy the show? Did you enjoy
You know
Bound for
what?
Glory?
I'm still rather perplexed. I'm
Because only one of
confused.
your picks was right?
No, I had at least 2 picks right.
Two? Maybe.
I could care less about the picks. I'm just not too sure if I liked the show or not. I mean, there are some things I liked. Other things I couldn't stand. I thought the main event, the headlining main event, was fantastic.
The match,
The match.
not the after stuff.
No. The after stuff,
Did that match get crapped on? Nobody's talking about how great that match was between Hardy, Angle, and Anderson.
because the main angle was after the match.
Right. No, I've not heard one comment about that, how good that match was. I thought that was a good match.
I loved the double ankle lock by Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Thought that was tremendous.
Hash mark.
Hash mark in it. But it was a solid pay-per-view. The only thing I thought was weird is they never showed the hard camera side of the arena.
There wasn't many people over there.
You know?
What does that matter?
But it matters a lot. I liked the atmosphere of them being somewhere else.
You know, they...
The people, the wrestlers, the TNA superstars finally came across as being stars.
And I will give kudos to TNA on their overall production of the event. It did look special. Granted, they were out of the impact zone, but they didn't bring their normal truss and a couple of screens transplanted from the impact zone set. It looked...
And it was a
Looked
truly international feel.
Well, if you watched on DirecTV for the first few minutes, yeah.
It was in German.
Nine.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Are
9.
you kidding me?
9.
No, wait. Is that the next pay-per-view?
No, that means no.
Oh, okay.
That was the last good Video Music Awards, $99.99.
Yeah. I didn't watch
Or
that.
the last one I was able to relate to. So you haven't said though, good or bad.
I
You
liked
just-
it.
You can't.
No. I liked
You liked it, but
I just liked it. I have to watch it again. I do. Wow, did I just say that out loud? I gotta watch a TNA pay-per-view again? I do.
here's one way I typically gauge how popular or how good an event was. We do the live wrap-up show, the post show on Blog Talk Radio, and that particular episode, granted we've only been doing it since June on Blog Talk Radio, but that particular episode was our most listened to live show since we've been doing it on Blog Talk Radio, and subsequently it's been the most downloaded version of the pay-per-view post shows since we started those. It shows intrigue, or it shows people didn't order it because they didn't think they'd see anything, and now they're
They
wondering what
wanted to
happened.
hear us.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
That YouTube, 20,000 people have watched that or listened to it on YouTube as well. So there's a lot of intrigue for this pay-per-view. But here's the thing: a lot of people say,
You know what? Hold on. You're not the first guy, or the last guy that's going to say, here's the thing. I believe your buddy, the Pope, here's the thing to do.
you tricked him into saying it.
I tricked him.
Into saying
What, Jedi mind trick? You will now say this?
it. Something
You know what?
happened.
Hold on. Before this goes any further,
Yeah.
Pope was great. I'm not going to lie. He was a lot of fun, a lot of good banter, funny ha-ha.
In
knees
addition to you
slapping.
seeing the light a few weeks ago here in this program, I mean, the hatchet has been buried.
Yeah, for the most part. Well, I told him I could let him headline a Blizzard Brawl sometime.
Where was I when that was said? Because that's not quite the way I heard it.
No?
No.
Maybe I didn't say it like that.
Intrigue on the show. People were interested in the show. The thing is that so many people saying this is stupid. They did nothing new. This isn't revolutionary. Jeff Hardy is a heel. Why? He's just going to go to jail in a few weeks. It's
Really?
funny. Well, here's the thing.
That's perfect. It makes sense. You love street cred.
The interesting point about that is, all right, I'm going to say this because there's the WWE high horse, and there's TNA, as Pope said, the little engine that is.
Yeah, that is.
And there are those of you out there who, no matter what TNA does, can't find any good in it. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't with this particular pay-per-view or this particular situation with Jeff Hardy, but I think that it's difficult to not admit that TNA did something that has people talking, including those of you who are disagreeing with the way it came off and disagreeing with the overall effectiveness of who they were. Now, the only way this is going to work long term, in my opinion, is if they are used to build them. And we're going to have Kurt Angle on the radio show next week, and the plan is to ask him about where are the new stars, where are the baby faces, how is TNA going to build? And the only way this thing can work is if they work with them and make some new thems to be they.
But they don't need any more theys with they.
But they need some thems to work with they.
Yeah, they need a
So
lot of
thems can
thems.
become they.
No,
As big as they.
no, because if them is they, then you have way too many theys and not enough thems.
But right now, that's how it is. There are too many
Yeah.
heels, not enough faces in TNA.
You know-
Who are the top faces in TNA right now? Who are the people who can battle for TNA against
Ken
they?
Anderson,
Okay, Anderson 1,
Pope,
Pope 2,
Joe,
Joe 3,
RVD,
RVD 4.
Amazing Red, EV2. I don't know. Who else do you want after that? There's 4.
Sting apparently taking some time off. Kurt Angle seemingly retired.
Kevin
I mean, he got
Nash is
destroyed last
gone.
night.
You know what? It just dawned on me. Do you know what would have made Bound for Glory better? Would be to have Impact on Monday nights.
Mhm.
While everything is still hot, boom, you go into Monday night. Now we had to wait. We had to wait 4 days.
Yeah. But I think I don't understand why Fortune and they have combined, and all of a sudden it's like the NWO at the end.
Well, is they gonna feud with Fortune?
No, because Hogan and Flair embraced.
Yeah, that's why they combined. They can't have 2 heel factors battling each other.
But doesn't that dilute they?
Here's what bothers me. Hogan says he was sold a bad bill of goods or whatever bill of goods. He just buried everybody in TNA.
No, he buried Dixie.
He buried the
Better or
talent.
worse than Tommy Dreamer when he said that the ECW reminiscent, or the ECW Third Rate
The
pay-per-view
bill
was
of
raising the
goods
bar.
is the talent in TNA.
No, it's the state of the company.
The goods are the
If it were the talent in TNA,
Look
then
at you
what?
spinning for Hogan.
No, if it were the talent in
Chris
TNA, then
Hansen.
how could Jeff Hardy be the focal point of they? Because he was one part of that bill of goods.
No, he wasn't. He came in after Hogan took over.
But when Hogan took that was yes, but he's been there since January.
You know, the chair does spin around if you want to go right ahead.
How dare you accuse me of spitting?
That's what you're doing.
It's all out there. I'm just telling you the
I wouldn't
truth.
raise your voice. Cause could be somewhere. Don't let them know where we are.
Jeff Hardy came in January 4th. Okay, that was the big launch. That was Hogan's debut.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So he's part of that bill of goods.
No. He's part of the Hogan era of TNA. Damien, pay attention.
What about Abyss?
Yeah.
That's if you ever watch. You remember Crossfire on CNN?
I don't watch CNN. Fox News.
Abyss
Did you see the miners?
on CNN. Yeah, they had a little square on all day. Abyss,
They put the
old
miners
school.
in a box?
They were already in a box, but they put a box on the screen so we can see them getting freed from their box. Abyss, old school TNA, original TNA.
Yes.
Focal point since Hogan came in, now a focal point
Hogan's
today.
chosen one. But now they align themselves with Fortune.
AJ Styles, Kaz, Matt Morgan, all
Hold
part
on.
of Fortune.
Stop.
I'm
Fortune. It was a big part of the original TNA. And now they're with Hogan. But he says it's a bad bill of goods. But now he has most of the bad bill of goods with him. It makes no sense right now. He should have kept his mouth shut. But
Madison
they need
Rayne.
more baby faces.
Madison Rayne is the new TNA Knockouts champion.
Wow.
Just like that.
At least she's a brunette kind of right now. That helps.
You also didn't like the MCMG versus Jin Me match.
No, I thought it was good, but they just threw way too much stuff in the match. I mean, slow it down.
But it was the opener. Don't you want to get the crowd going?
You can get the crowd going by giving them 70% of what they gave them.
Fair enough. Eric Young and Orlando Jordan versus Inc. Eric Young attacks Orlando Jordan.
I'm not.
He
gonna
brings the
comment.
rule book
I'm-
down to the
I'm
ring.
not going to comment on this match. It's ridiculous. That was, you know what? I like Eric Young. He's talented. That was a favor for him to give him a payday pay-per-view.
Team 3D announces that they are going to retire. However, they want one more match, and they want that match to be with the Motor City Machine Guns. A hard sell by Taz and Mike Tenay at ringside. I like the way this story is building. What reason
Why?
does the Motor City Machine Guns have to accept that matchup?
Why would they? I'd be like, hey,
See ya.
yeah, go ahead. Goodbye. Who wants to go through a table? You know? And that takes tag team wrestling back. It goes backwards with that match. Do you honestly think Bubba Ray and Devon are going to want to put over that young team that's smaller than them?
In their last match, no.
Oh, of course not.
TNA Bound for Glory this past Sunday
I've
on
heard
pay-per-view.
that Bubba Ray got himself in a little bit of trouble the night before BFG.
Did he show his ass?
No.
That's a figurative term.
No. But I'm curious to see how this is going to play out.
It's time for some viewer mail. Let's go to Linda Kay.
Now it's time for our viewer email. First one comes from Andrew of Atlanta, Georgia.
Hot Atlanta!
Atlanta. Andrew says, do you agree that by 2015 or 2020 that wrestling will be dead? What I mean by that is that all the originals and veterans will be retired and all that remain are the bland FCW cookie cutter robots with no lineage that will get no emotional response from the fans. Now let's take it back over to our analysts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Thank you, Linda! 2015, 2020. How the heck? That's so far away, it seems.
You know what? Andrew's exactly right. My last pay-per-view will be in December of 2014.
Your last pay-per-view?
Yeah, that I'll ever watch.
Why is that?
2015, wrestling's dead.
Well, what he's saying
Oh,
is
you know what,
with the
though,
departure of Shawn Michaels.
Wait. You know when they say the end of the world is in 2012?
12.
Who cares? I mean, seriously, go out right
Now
now.
you're Nostradamus
No.
over here.
Andrew, here's what you do. Go out there and get those no-interest credit cards. No payments until 2013. Buy whatever you want. Don't make a payment. Because, according to this, the world's over.
Let me rephrase the question here for Andrew and Linda. Are they building enough newer stars to replace those who will be gone by 2012? Not just because all of us will be gone, but just are they rebuilding enough people to fill the gap of a Undertaker who
And it's
retires?
2 years from now.
Right.
I have no idea.
They built The Miz. They built Cody Rhodes.
I guess it's my eye. Really? We're going back there again.
No, they built.
Have you seen the Team SmackDown spoilers yet?
Yes, I
Yes.
have. That team sucks. That
Yeah.
team sucks. The Raw team is
You
great.
can't say wrestlers suck.
I didn't say the wrestlers sucked. I said the team sucks.
Yeah. Next.
You gonna visit Evan Bourne while he's recovering his shoulder?
Yes, I felt terrible for Evan. But once again, he goes out there and he gives 110%. Puts people over like a champ.
As opposed to.
I'm not opposed to anybody.
Well, we learned last week that we got a new segment here on the show, so let's go down to the Cause 5.
Good evening, kiddos. Welcome to this week's version of the Cause 5. Now, I know you guys are thinking this is a work and all that jazz, and that's fine. It's whatever you want to think. But for 10 years plus on this program, on this very program, I've tried my best to give my opinions, give my thoughts on the show, bring everybody on the program that I can, and I've been upset. Matter of fact, I've been pissed off the last year and a half on the direction of the program. Now, it's working, except some segments. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to need help from you, is the top 5 things that piss you off about wrestling. What I'm going to do each week is I'm going to take 5 things that upset me, either in TNA, in WWE, or anything out there in the wrestling world. I'll put them up there on the website, and you vote for them. Or you may even want to send in an email saying, no, I think number 6 goes here, read this one. I'll read the percentages each week, and we've got our number. And then we'll send it to WWE and to TNA and those officials and let them have it. Because I'm pissed off, and you're pissed off. And we want a better wrestling product, just like I want the PWR product to be better. So starting next week, on the website, I'll put 5 things that upset me in professional wrestling for the week. You vote on them. If there's something you want to add, you can send an email. I'll read it too. I'll read a percentage, and we'll make this work. We're going to make this product better. We're going to make wrestling better. And I'm pissed off about it. The Cause 5 next week. It begins. Hit the website, pwrshow.com.
Okay, I mean, geez.
Are you back?
2 hours sleep.
Hey, you just tell me when, and I'm ready to go.
Well, his segment was done. You're still talking to him.
Well, he's the cause. I gotta be nice.
Week in review. Let's talk about WWE Raw from this past Monday night, and there are 3 things that stand out on that program, in my opinion. The matchup between Tyson Kidd and John Morrison, John Cena and Wade Barrett's verbal exchange at the end of the night, and the captain of Team WWE Raw for bragging rights, The Miz.
He's the captain. He'll go down with the sinking ship. What's the difference?
That's it. Why are you so cynical?
I'm not cynical.
Nothing's good enough for you.
Yes.
You've praised nothing so far on this show.
I talked about the Pope last night. He was great. Kevin Nash was fantastic.
No, Kevin Nash was...
Linda looks amazing. I mean, come on. You know what?
Okay, let's go one by one.
I'm spent. I got nothing left. I think I might retire.
Let's go one by one. The matchup between John Morrison and Tyson Kidd. It was an excellent match, especially that new finisher we saw from John Morrison.
What is it called?
Yeah, we'll find out next week, maybe.
The Spider-Man? The Web Slinger?
You know, it's one of those, in my opinion, the all-time greatest finishing maneuver in professional wrestling was the Canadian Destroyer, used by minis, but used to perfection by P.D. Williams. And that was a move where you always, you sort of rewind and watch it several times.
How did
to
that
figure out
happen?
What happened?
Right?
Yeah. Same thing I did on Monday. I'm watching this. I'm like, how on earth did that go from start to finish? And what happened in between? And I still couldn't figure it out. But very well
How
done.
would you have liked to have been Tyson Kidd in the back when John Morrison is saying, okay, then I'm going to hit you with this? And he's like,
You mean after the match?
whatever. Or before.
Before?
I mean,
They
imagine
talk
them-
about that stuff before the match?
Listen, RVD beat Abyss, wrestling's fake. All right? Let's just get that straight right now. But can you imagine the look on Tyson Kidd's face when Morrison's explaining this move to him? Oh, yeah, sure. Yader, It's like,
So
really?
I have to do a front flip while you do a back flip.
Yeah. That's why I was against Tyson Kidd, because nobody
Right.
else would take that.
And do it successfully.
Yes.
That was a great match, and I didn't realize until later on when I was doing, the intern sent me the notes on the match length. This was only a 3-minute match. It felt much longer.
It's a TV match. Of course it feels longer.
John Cena and The Miz went 10 minutes. That's an epic battle on
But
WWE
that's John
television.
Cena. Has to get his TV time in.
Mm.
Do you honestly think Cena will give up any time to Tyson Kidd?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Two tremendously talented individuals. John Morrison seemingly getting a lot of attention over the last few weeks from WWE.
Because they're trying to establish newer stars. And
D.H.
obviously
Smith.
somebody likes him in the beard.
What's this whole thing going on with the Hart Dynasty, in your opinion? They sold it as D.H. Smith not being found, not willing to come out and work the 3-way match that it was supposed to be. A little bit of dissension teased. Is he upset because they've had 38 matches with the Usos in the last 2 months? Do you know what's going on there? What should they be breaking this team up?
DH is going to work on his fire.
Get a little fire lit on
I
him?
think so. I think that's what he needs. You know?
Okay.
You don't think so?
No, I don't disagree. I truly think, though, if they break this tag team up,
It'll be just temporary.
really?
Yeah.
Before breaking them up, though, and trying to get some fire for DH, could they just get him a little bulldog?
Sure, why not? Hey, how funny was it that the emailer we had a couple weeks ago saying, is Jim Neidhart going to stop the push of Natalie Neidhart? Have you seen what they've been doing to Jim Neidhart lately on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. They could care less what he was smoking.
You know, I enjoy Michelle McCool. I enjoy Layla for
Are
obvious
you
reasons.
serious, Michelle McCool?
Yeah.
I love Layla. Don't get me wrong. Brunettes, fantastic. Michelle McCool, I don't see it. It's like watching
Could you
Peter
get-
Pan with long hair.
They have become very entertaining in their shtick.
They're annoying.
That's what I like about it.
They are
Hello, I'm a Ms. Marquis.
cheap version of the beautiful people. I'm not an Angelina Love fan, but I would rather watch the originals than these two. That's just me, amigo.
CM Punk has been drafted to WWE Raw.
Traded.
To WWE Raw, replacing Edge.
Good for Punk. Back on the A show.
Had that great matchup with Evan Bourne. Destroyed Evan Bourne after the matchup.
Evan has to have surgery. How else are they going to write him off?
You know, just because Abyss
RVD
lost.
ruined it for everybody. You know, if he's in Racine in a couple hours, we're going to have a chat, him and I. Hey, I
Is
already
there a
ta-
way to fix this?
No, it's too late now. They ruined it. Hey, I already talked to the Pope. We got that stuff worked out. RVD's next, brother.
The Miz defeats John Cena. That's on the same page. On WWE Raw. And then him and Wade Barrett
Wait. How did he beat John Cena?
He pinned him 1, 2, 3.
But what led up to that?
Doesn't matter. You pinned him 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Is all the let up going to be a part of the history book, or is it just going to be Raw, October 8th?
Details are important.
To some. The Miz pinned John Cena.
Yeah, he did. Congratulations.
Wade Barrett,
And he's
then,
now the team captain of Santino.
and John Morrison, and R-Truth, and Sheamus. Oh.
Thank God for Sheamus.
There's like a little top on your head that just spins. You know.
I had to
still
deal with the X
spinning this
before I
stuff.
got here. Come on. You know I'm a little fired up.
Barrett owned Cena verbally at the end of Raw, and I thought it was better than anything
Well,
they
he
did
had to
last
own him.
week, explaining this whole Cena
He had
Nexus
to own
thing.
him. Cena can't fight back,
It was great,
or he'll get fired.
but they should have done that last week, in my opinion. It was a week late.
They need to put him in an NX or a Nexus T-shirt.
Mhm.
That's got to be next. You know the little armband gimmick is now the #1 seller on Shop Zone.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Because John Cena's wearing.
yeah. But there's more to that. I heard that a certain Damian Nelson bought a whole bunch of little N's for the Nelson Army.
I have a certain budget of materials that I'll buy from WWE
You're already
each
wearing
year,
the colors. You got the black and yellow going, brother.
and I purchased a few Miz T-shirts a couple of weeks back.
Yes, you did.
That was my yearly allotment.
Okay.
The team Raw is a bit odd, though. As you talked about earlier, it's Santino, it's CM Punk, it's R-Truth, John Morrison, and Sheamus. Who cares about that team?
Sheamus. Sheamus will lead them to the promised land. Sheamus and Santino. Good for Santino, right?
Very good for Santino. Okay, on Raw this past Monday night, there was John Cena as far as crowd reaction,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was Santino.
Who did Santino go over on?
I don't recall.
Was it DiBiase?
Sure, we'll go with that.
I think
I don't
so,
think
right?
it was, but we'll go with that. Let the interns look it up.
Amazing. Santino. Let's not
And
forget.
he did it with the
Let's not forget,
Cobra.
though. Randy Orton and Santino are like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Over on TNA Impact, they had that big live Impact last week. A bit of a dud. However, why don't you enlighten the world on the little thing that nobody noticed about that live Impact last week that became very important for Sunday's big reveal of day? The focus was on Kurt Angle.
Well, yeah,
the
it
focus
was
was
all-
on Ken Anderson.
There was no focus on Jeff Hardy.
At all.
They did a great job of putting all the heat between Kurt and Ken, so we forgot about Jeff Hardy. You know, I'm sitting there, I'm watching Reaction, and I'm like, wow, where's Jeff? Nowhere. You would think Jeff would come in to break the two up.
Right.
Nothing. Great job of tricking everybody.
Mm-hmm. The Shore.
Excuse me?
The Shore. Robbie and Cookie.
I'm not talking about it.
Debuted last Thursday on the live Impact. Jay Wow, whoever that is.
You
Part
know
of
what?
Impact.
She's kind of hot in a weird way.
Jay Wow.
Yeah, JWoww.
I've never seen her.
She's not
Why,
worth
sorry,
15
no,
grand.
that's
Well,
not- that's-
maybe some people she might find it worth 15 grand. But I tell you, when you're starting,
That's high class.
yeah. But when you can't
That's
find,
prearranged, not pull-up service.
well, yeah, they paid her 15 grand. That is prearranged. How can you not find money for Kevin Nash and pay your other talent more, but you can find 15 grand for JWoww?
That's going to get you an
Who
article on the TMZ website.
60% or 70% of the international wrestling fans have no idea who she is. People were tweeting me, hey, who is JWoww? What is he like? He! It's not an OJ. It's JWoww. Did you like JWoww?
You know what? No.
God bless Cookie for taking it easy on her. Did you lose your place?
Yeah, I did, actually. You got
Here.
all fired up, started throwing papers around
Tell you
here. I
what.
lost
Here.
my place.
Guess where we're
That's
going
the
next?
week in review.
Right
We
here
talked
now.
about Impact from last night as well. We're going to go now to
If you turn
Linda.
them over when you're done, you know where you are.
But I need the front one to make sure I go to the next place in line here.
Hey, don't
So
get out
maybe I
of
should
me.
put the
You
back
lost
on
the
the front
spot.
of
I
every-
didn't do any of this.
Let's go to Linda with some more viewer mail.
And our second viewer email comes from Game God 1990. He or she says, do you think WWE is hindering possible storylines that they could be doing because they are now PG? For instance, if blading was still accepted on a normal basis in WWE, I think it would be a great idea to have Cody Rhodes in a first blood match.
Yes.
Seeing how he would react to potentially ruining his face
He'd scream.
and body would be great. What do you guys think? Gentlemen, I especially want to hear your thoughts on Cody Rhodes.
Thank you, Linda. David, you lashed out at the last emailer, so I'm going to not lash out, but say to this. I'm tired of hearing about PG. I'm sick of it. Get back to the Attitude Era. WWE's PG. That's why they're not doing good. That's why I got a 2.9 rating on Raw this past Monday night. They were PG for so long and did so great with it. Maybe the times have changed. Maybe I'm behind them. Their PG rating doesn't have anything to do with their ability to build characters that you care about. And that's what wrestling's all about. Jim Cornette on our show a couple months back said it best. It's one man wanting to fight another man and enough reason behind them wanting to fight that you want to pay to see it. That's it.
Agreed. But the problem is, the wrestling fans from the Attitude Era are now watching UFC, MMA. And the young stars they have now are cookie cutters. Okay? They sit down in a big warehouse in Tampa, Florida, and everything is scripted to them. Back when we loved wrestling and it was awesome, you had guys that worked the indies in different territories and had a chance to develop themselves into a character. Nowadays, they say, okay, here's who you are, figure it out. Thank God Sheamus is who he is.
You know, you've been talking a lot about Sheamus lately, but that other guy you said was going to be a
Jack
huge star?
Swagger, he'll get there. Give him time. He's buried on SmackDown right now.
If Cody Rhodes was coming to the ring, or The Miz was coming to the ring with a chicken, a hawk, you'd be all over.
I believe Cody Rhodes came to the ring with a cock at one time. Remember the whole DX thing?
Let's go to this week's 10 Best.
Hi, I'm the man they call Meathead. Yeah, I'm still here on Primetime. Kaz hasn't taken over this segment. This one is mine. It is the 10 best WCW moments of all time. We'll be running down WCW, WWF, WWE, Attitude Era, and ECW moments. 10 best. Number 4 in the 10 best series. You know, we've been talking a lot about what's been happening, and most of them have been good, happy moments, even though it's the 10 best. Some of them, not so much. Number 4, July 6, 1996. There was a mystery man for these outsiders that had just came into WCW, and nobody knew who it was. It was a 2-on-2 match until here comes Hulk Hogan. He's going to even the odds, and you find out that he's siding with the bad guy, and Diesel. And he is the third member of the outsiders as they form the New World Order. The ring filled with garbage. Mean G, you can go to hell. Tony Schiavone, unbelievable. Good stuff, amazing stuff. I still look back and get a little giddy when I watch it. Number 4 is July 6, 1996. Bash at the Beach, the formation of the New World Order.
It's time for our headlining main event, Fan of the Week. This week is Caleb Kaiser of Nova Scotia, Canada. Caleb says, seeing Edge's get rid of stupid gimmick and his entrance he has on SmackDown with the glasses and the entrance kind of looks reminiscent of Edge and Christian. Do you think his trade to SmackDown could be setting up Christian and Edge again when Christian returns from injury? Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Thank you, Meathead and Linda, for rescuing us. What has gotten into you?
It's not my fault.
All right there, Snitsky. That's all right. So the ENC connection, Edge and Christian. Edge back on SmackDown. Christian out for a couple of months with an injury to his chest, I believe. Will we see that team form again?
I hope so. Everybody wants to see it.
5-second pose.
You know what? They gotta do it one more time. They really. Hey, if they can bring back the Hardys, If they can bring back the Outsiders.
No, the Hardys were only brought back on YouTube. I don't know if you saw Matt's recent
No,
video.
when Jeff came back,
I
they
know, I
had the
was
little
trying
run.
to throw that in there so people have covered it.
Is
on
it
this
Matt or
episode.
Matthew on YouTube? I'm a little confused.
I think it's
right
back to
now.
Matt.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Jeff Hardy were together and they made this video. You can see that at pwrshow.com.
You know the Pope has a video. Oh, he had
Had.
videos. Yeah. Him and Miss Tessmacher.
Is that another scoop? Well, remember Pope
Hey,
shut down his Twitter account.
When was the
and-
first time the Pope has ever been quiet or silent on anything? Right?
It may have been last night on the Pro Wrestling
It was
Report
last
Radio.
night.
You could be Fan of the Week just by simply sending us an email with your question or comment. And you can do so at pwrshow.com. Our email address, comments at pwrshow.com. This week, coming up next week rather, on the Pro Wrestling Report radio show on 540 ESPN, Kurt Angle, David Hero. Kurt Angle,
It's true.
it's been some years since he's been on this program, actually.
Bound for Glory, Chicago.
2008, we had a video interview with Kurt Angle, I believe, which you can see at pwrshow.com. And Kurt Angle joining us on the radio show. It might be his first time having been on the radio show. We have so many people, it's difficult to keep track. But this is, of course, above and beyond a lot of the people that we've had on the show. The best wrestler in the world, Kurt Angle, joins us next week right here on the Pro Wrestling Report, however, on the radio edition. And I've seen the question list that the interns have prepared. I don't think this is one you're going to miss. Kurt Angle is very vocal and will speak out. And we were going to clear up, or at least attempt to clear up, what's going on with his status in TNA Wrestling, because technically, he's done.
Yeah. He said he's going to quit. But once again, RVD screwed the whole thing up. Wrestling's fake.
Tonight, Racine, Wisconsin, we're on our way, and then Sunday we'll be at the show in Hoffman Estates, Illinois as well. TNA Wrestling Live. And make sure you check it out when it comes to your area. And we'll be back next week with a brand new edition of the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime Television.